Welcome to my channel. Try this quiz and see how many questions you can get right. Let's get started.
Question 1. What is the name of Australia's national police force? A. The Royal Australian Police. B. The Australian Federal Police. C. The Commonwealth Police Force. D. The National Australian Security Police. Correct answer, B. The Australian Federal Police. Australia's national police force is called the Australian Federal Police, AFP. The AFP is the main federal law enforcement agency responsible for investigating federal crimes and protecting national security. It operates across Australia and works closely with state and territory police services to keep people safe. Question 2. Who decides if a person is guilty after an arrest in Australia? A. The court. B. The police. C. The Prime Minister. D. The Governor-General. Correct answer, A. The court. In Australia, after someone is arrested, it is the court that decides whether the person is guilty or not based on the evidence presented during a trial. The police can arrest and bring the person to court, but they do not decide guilt. Australia's court system operates independently from the government, and decisions are made according to the law to ensure fairness and justice. Question 3. Who is the highest authority in an Australian court? A. The Prime Minister. B. A police officer. C. The judge or magistrate. D. The Governor-General. Correct answer, C. The judge or magistrate. In an Australian court, the judge or magistrate is the highest authority. They are responsible for managing the court, making legal decisions, and ensuring the law is applied fairly. Judges and magistrates work within Australia's independent court system, including courts such as the High Court of Australia. The Prime Minister and police officers do not control what happens in court. Question 4. What is the primary role of the police in Australia? A. To create new laws. B. To act as judges in court. C. To maintain peace and order and protect life and property. D. To manage hospitals and provide medical treatment. Correct answer, C. To maintain peace and order and protect life and property. In Australia, the police are responsible for enforcing the law. Their main job is to keep the community safe by maintaining peace and order, protecting people and their property, preventing crime, and arresting those who break the law. Managing hospitals and providing medical treatment is the responsibility of healthcare professionals and health services, not the police. Question 5. Who serves on a jury in Australia? A. Judges and lawyers. B. Government officials. C. Police officers and members of the military. D. Ordinary Australian citizens randomly chosen from the community. Correct answer, D. Ordinary Australian citizens randomly chosen from the community. In Australia, jurors are ordinary citizens who are randomly selected from the electoral roll to serve on a jury when called. They are not judges, lawyers, government officials, police officers, or members of the military, unless selected as ordinary citizens. Jury service is an important part of Australia's legal system and helps ensure fair trials. Question 6. Who explains the law to the jury during a trial in Australia? A. The defence lawyer. B. The judge. C. The police. D. The Prime Minister. Correct answer, B. The judge. In Australia, the judge is responsible for explaining the law to the jury during a trial. The judge tells jurors what legal rules they must follow and what elements must be proved, so the jury can decide whether the accused person is guilty or not guilty. This helps ensure the jury applies the law correctly to the evidence they have heard. The Prime Minister, police and defence lawyers do not explain the law to the jury. Question 7. Can judges in Australia be influenced by the government? A. Yes. B. No. C. Only in some cases. D. Only if the Prime Minister agrees. Correct answer, B. No. Judges in Australia are independent. The government or any other person, including the Prime Minister, cannot influence their decisions. Judges must decide cases based only on the law and the evidence presented in court. This ensures fairness and equality before the law. Question 8. What is the main role of a jury in a criminal trial in Australia? A. To make new laws. C. To choose the punishment for the crime. D. To represent the government in court. Correct answer, B. To decide whether a person is guilty or not guilty. In Australia, a jury listens to the evidence presented in court and decides whether the accused person is guilty or not guilty. The judge does not decide guilt in a jury trial. Instead, the judge explains the law, and the jury makes the final decision based on the facts. The jury does not make new laws, choose the punishment, or represent the government in court. Question 9. Who appoints judges and magistrates in Australia? A. The police. B. The Australian public. C. The government. D. The government. Correct answer, C. The government. Judges and magistrates in Australia are appointed by the government, not elected by the public, chosen by the police, or selected by a jury. This system helps maintain the independence of the courts and ensures that judges make decisions based on the law. Question 10. Are courts in Australia independent? A. Yes, courts are independent. B. Yes, but only in civil cases. C. No, courts must follow government orders. D. Only when the Prime Minister approves. Correct answer, A. Yes, courts are independent. In Australia, courts are independent from the government. Judges make decisions based on the law, not on what the government tells them to do. Courts are independent in all cases, including criminal and civil cases. This helps make sure everyone is treated fairly under the law. Question 11. Under Australian law, does a person have the right to be represented by a lawyer in court? A. Only wealthy people are allowed to have a lawyer. B. Yes, every person has the right to a lawyer. C. No, only government officials can have a lawyer. D. No, people must defend themselves. Correct answer B. Yes, every person has the right to a lawyer. In Australia, everyone has the right to legal representation in court. A lawyer helps explain the law, present evidence, and protect a person's rights. This supports fairness and justice in the legal system. It does not depend on a person's job or wealth. Question 12. What can the police do if they believe someone has broken the law in Australia? A. They can decide the punishment. B. They can change the law to punish the person. C. They can arrest the person and bring them before a court. D. They can act as the judge in the trial. Correct answer C. They can arrest the person and bring them before a court. In Australia, if the police reasonably believe someone has broken the law, they can arrest that person and take them before a court, so the court can decide guilt and penalty. The police do not decide the punishment, change the law, or act as the judge. Only a court has the authority to determine guilt and impose a penalty. Question 13. Who is responsible for dealing with crimes under state and territory laws in Australia? A. The military. B. The Australian Federal Police. C. The High Court of Australia. D. The police forces of each state and the Northern Territory. Correct answer D. The police forces of each state and the Northern Territory. In Australia, each state and the Northern Territory has its own police force that handles crimes under state and territory laws. These police services investigate offences, arrest people and bring them before the courts for matters covered by local laws. The Australian Federal Police mainly deals with crimes under federal, Commonwealth law and certain territory policing matters. The military and the High Court of Australia are not responsible for investigating state and territory crimes. Question 14. Are the police independent of the government in Australia? A. Yes, the police operate independently of the government. B. No, the police follow direct government orders. C. Only federal police are independent. D. The police can ignore the law if the government allows it. Correct answer A. Yes, the police operate independently of the government. In Australia, the police carry out their day-to-day work and make decisions about how to enforce the law without direct government orders. They must follow laws made by Parliament and are accountable to the government, but they generally operate independently when enforcing the law and investigating crimes. The police cannot ignore the law. Question 15. What do Australian courts base their decisions on? A. Public opinion. B. Government policies. C. The evidence presented in court. D. Media reports about the case. Correct answer C. The evidence presented in court. Australian courts make decisions based on the evidence and the law. They do not base their decisions on public opinion, government policies, or media reports. Judges must carefully consider the facts and evidence presented during the case to ensure a fair and lawful decision. Question 16. What is the role of courts in Australia? A. Decide whether someone has broken the law and determine the penalty. B. Make new laws. C. Enforce government policies. D. Arrest people who break the law. Correct answer, A. Decide whether someone has broken the law and determine the penalty. The role of Australian courts is to apply and interpret the law by deciding whether a person has broken the law and, if so, determining the appropriate penalty. Courts do not make new laws. That is the responsibility of Parliament. And they do not enforce government policies or arrest people. Question 17. What does the principle of presumption of innocence mean in Australia's legal system? A. A person is innocent until proven guilty. B. A person must prove they are innocent. C. A person is automatically guilty in a criminal case. D. A person is guilty if most people believe they committed the crime. Correct answer A. A person is innocent until proven guilty. In Australia, the presumption of innocence means that a person is considered innocent unless the court proves they are guilty. The responsibility is on the prosecution to prove the crime. This principle protects individual rights and ensures a fair trial. Question 18. In a criminal trial in Australia, what happens if the jury finds a person guilty? A. The jury decides the penalty. B. The judge decides the penalty. C. The person is immediately sent to prison. D. The police decide the punishment. Correct answer B. The judge decides the penalty. If a jury in Australia finds someone guilty, that person is convicted of the crime, and the judge will decide the appropriate penalty. The jury's role is to determine guilt, while the judge is responsible for sentencing based on the law and the circumstances of the case. The police and jury do not decide the punishment. Question 19. Can the government dismiss a judge or magistrate simply because it disagrees with their decisions? A. Yes, but only in minor cases. B. Yes, if the judge makes a decision that is unpopular. C. Yes, the government can remove any judge at any time. D. No, the government cannot remove them for this reason. Correct answer D. No, the government cannot remove them for this reason. In Australia, judges and magistrates are independent from the government. The government cannot remove them just because it disagrees with their decisions or because a decision is unpopular. Judges can only be removed in very serious situations, such as proven misconduct. This protects the rule of law and helps ensure fair and unbiased court decisions. Question 20. Which types of crimes does the Australian Federal Police investigate? A. Local traffic violations. B. State-level theft and burglary. C. Neighbourhood disputes between local residents. D. Crimes against federal laws such as drug trafficking and national security offences. Correct answer D. Crimes against federal laws such as drug trafficking and national security offences. The Australian Federal Police investigates crimes against federal, Commonwealth law, not ordinary local offences like traffic fines or most state-level theft matters. This includes serious crimes that affect the whole country, such as drug trafficking, terrorism, money laundering, fraud, cybercrime, human trafficking, and threats to national security. Local police forces handle most state and community-level offences.
Thank you for watching. How many questions did you pass? Don't forget to like, subscribe for me. Bye.